to come to the market.
Congratulations to the media. You have done incredible work.
In 10 years, it will shock you what it does.
The Senate observed that PPP has consistently engaged in underhand dealing.
When your brother is producing something and you patronizing your brother.
Listen to Planet's 101.1 FM news at 7 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. with our news in special English at 2:30 p.m., Mondays to Fridays. Planet's Radio 101.1 FM, revolving around you.
It's the news at noon. In the news, President Bola Tinubu says servicing debt with 90% revenue path to destruction. Senate says Nigeria can generate $3 billion from solid minerals annually. Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umo Eno resets commitment on implementation on Arise agenda. On the foreign scene, UN chief expresses concern over Zimbabwe polls. In sports, Nigerian champions Enyimba crash out of CAF Champions League in first round. Details coming up shortly. Good afternoon. Welcome to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM. Uyo, I am Davina Praise. Orang. First in the news this afternoon is from Nigeria's leader, President Bola Tinubu, who has said the country could not continue to service its debt with 90% of its revenue. Tinubu spoke during the annual conference of the Nigerian Bar Association in Abuja, noted that the country was headed for destruction should that continue. He said his administration must make difficult changes to better the lots of the country. According to him, to build a great nation, the country must make bold decisions. Tinubu, who said there is hope for a great Nigeria, called for the cooperation and support of the private sector.
External debts with over 90% of our revenue is a path to destruction. We cannot continue that. We have to make hard decisions. For us, this number matters. Over 16,000 legal minds. You are here not to picnic. You are here to chart the path. And my trust and respect is for all of you gathered here. So that together we can build our country and set Nigeria on the path of greatness. I promise you, I will do my very best to achieve this.
Speaking on the epileptic power supply in the country, the president described the situation as shameful. He, however, promised that his administration would ensure that Nigeria generates and distributes the electricity the economy requires to thrive. On remuneration for judicial officers, Tinubu stated that true justice reform must begin with world-class salaries and benefits for legal professionals in Nigeria. Meanwhile, the NBA president Yakubu Michael SAN expressed the confidence of the NBA in the ability of President Bola Tinubu to deliver good governance to Nigeria because of his pedigree and past track record of excellent performance in Lagos State, where he was the governor between 1999 to 2007. In the meantime, the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Ajuri Ngalale, has said that President Bola Tinubu spent the month since his victory at the February 25th election setting clear goals for each sector in the country and will not tolerate failure from either of his recently inaugurated ministers. Ngalale noted in a televised interview that the president has set the benchmarks and has shown, as he did during his time in Lagos State as governor, that he is not someone that is afraid to fire anybody. According to Ngalale, the president used the interim period between his emergence as the president-elect and his inauguration on May 29th to set up a series of reform committees across all sectors. Ngalale explained that Tinubu basically looked at exactly what former President Muhammadu Buhari achieved and identified what to do to build on all the achievements. He said every minister absolutely knows what they have to achieve within the time frame that has been given to them by the president, adding that it is something that has not been seen before in the history of Nigerian governance. On Niger crisis, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, has demanded a shorter transition from the junta in Niger. The chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, President Bola Tinubu, told the Ulamas during a meeting with them and the 3-year transition proposed by the military leaders was unacceptable to the regional body. A member of the Islamic clerics who met with the president, the National Missionaire Ansar Uddin Society of Nigeria, Sheikh Abdurrahman Ahmad, disclosed this to newsmen in an interview. Reports say that the ulama meeting with the Niger junta in a bid to avert military intervention to restore democracy in the francophone country as planned by the ECOWAS. During their interface, the junta leader, General Abdurrahman Tiani, had indicated an interest in holding a dialogue to resolve the political impasse resulting from the ouster of President Mohamed Bazoum and the July 26th coup. They also asked the ulamas to prevail on Tinubu to restore electricity which was cut off from Niger as part of sanctions imposed by ECOWAS. Speaking to newsmen on the outcome of their meeting with the president, Ahmad, who is the spokesperson for the ulamas, explained that Tinubu insisted that the military leaders must give specifics of the transition program, which must also be brief. From the Red Chambers, the Senate, through its Committee on Finance, has said that Nigeria could generate about $3 billion from solid minerals. The chairman of the Finance Committee, Senator Sani Musa, in a statement, said the informal sector, particularly the mining industry, is a hidden gem in the nation's revenue potential. He also stated that the Senate Finance Committee will seriously look at the informal sector, which constitutes about 80% of the Nigerian economy. The committee will look into empowering the informal sector with a spotlight on mining. According to him, it was corroborated by the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development that the solid minerals have the capacity to generate about $2 to $3 billion annually. Musa noted that the strategic move will bring economic benefits while promoting safer and more responsible practices. He added that they will harness and raise revenue sources from both the blue marine and the creative economics by setting targets. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umo Eno has again assured on his administration's commitment to the systematic implementation of the Arise Agenda blueprint for delivery of dividends of democracy to the people of the state. The governor was speaking at the grand finale of the 19th Annual Convention of All Nations Christian Ministries International at the church headquarters in Eket local government area. Governor Eno, the founding and lead pastor of the church before his election as governor, thanked God for bringing the church this far and for standing by the church through the convention and particularly appreciated the clergymen, dignitaries, members of the church and the guests for identifying with the church's vision by turning up and ensuring a successful hosting of the convention. The governor, however, explained that the Arise Agenda blueprint was carefully developed to address the development needs of the people at the grassroots, expressing confidence that the blueprint will achieve its objectives given its systematic implementation for the development of the state in less than 100 days in office.
The people will continue in the place of prayer as the government will continue to work and ensure that our people have the dividend of democracy. We're just going to be 100 days in office, just a few days from now. But we believe that we have some more years to ensure that we take development to our people. We are concentrating on our agenda, the Arise Agenda. We are going to remain focused and steadfast to that agenda. And we have our implementation plan. We are following it systematically. So we can only assure Akwa Ibom people that by the grace of God, we will not shy away from our responsibilities. We'll put in everything we can to achieve purpose and to achieve the goals that we have set for ourselves.
Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umo Eno speaking. Away from that, less than 24 hours after he empowered 15 constituents with a business support grant of 100,000 naira each during Saturday's PDP ward meeting in Ukana West Ward 2, the member representing Esienudem State constituency and chairman House Committee on Rules, Business, Ethics and Privileges, Prince Ukbong Akpabio II, has given 20 additional constituents in Ukana East Ward 100,000 naira each to support their small-scale businesses and the community. The lawmaker who made the donation today during the second edition of his monthly ward empowerment program to his constituents said his promise to hold monthly empowerment across the wards in Esienudem remains irrevocable. Addressing the gathering, the Esienudem representative, Prince Ukbong Akpabio II, thanked the people of Ukana East for their support and solidarity to him. His Excellency Governor Umo Eno and the People's Democratic Party (PDP) during the 2023 general election. He said his decision to empower 10 women and 10 youth in Ukana East was in line with his 2023 campaign promise of organizing monthly empowerment rotated among the wards in Esienudem. He reiterated his resolve to ensure he sustains the policy till the day he leaves office. Mr. Akpabio assured his people of running an open-door policy, submitting that his doors will always remain open for all, and he is poised to breach the gap between the leader and the led. The lawmaker promised to always defend the interest of Ukana East Ward and ensure the benefit from the various empowerment programs that are lined up for the benefit of the people by the Umo Eno-led administration in Akwa Ibom State. Prince Akpabio admonished them to always utilize the various channels of communication by reaching out to him and the state government through their various ward community leaders and the party structure, as prompt communication is key to crisis management and good governance. On hand to present the cash grant to the beneficiaries were former member House of Representatives Sunye Kekere Inokan, former Algan chairman and member representing Esienudem State constituency Nse Ntwen, former member representing Etim Ikmo Ika State constituency Gabriel Toby, and Esienudem PDP chapter chairman Cyril Udo. Meanwhile, speaking on behalf of the beneficiaries, Mfon Akpan Udofia thanked the lawmaker for being a man of his words and for not forgetting the sacrifice made by the people of Ukana East. He assured the lawmaker of the continuous support and solidarity of the ward to the PDP and the Umo Eno-led administration. The beneficiaries include Simeon Udo Soro, Innocent John David, Alexander Samson Udo, Eno Stephen Ukbong, Mfon Akpan Udofia, Etam Michael Akpan, Susanna Anthony Akwaobo, Charles Patrick Iba, Susanna Goy Kanem, Augustine Joseph Umo. Others are MM Ibanga Udoaka, Nseno Christopher Umana, Sunday John Abon, Victoria Nicholas Okon, Gloria Innocent Inyedu, Regina Okunakan, Ikwo Monday Jeremiah, Blessing Emmanuel Ben, Emmanuel John Bernard, and Udum Udodo Video. You are listening to the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo. Let's take a breather and then bring you more stories from our foreign, sports and entertainment scenes. Just stay with us.
Healthy living begins with the choices one makes. Choosing to live healthy is the first step to healthy living. Join us Sundays 1:30 to 2 p.m. for Healthway, awareness for healthy choices.
Many thanks for staying with us. On the foreign scene, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has expressed concern over the arrest of Zimbabwe election observers amid reports of voter intimidation, threats of violence, harassment and coercion. He has called on political leaders and their supporters to reject all forms of violence and respect human rights and the rule of law. A statement from his spokesperson said that the Secretary General called on political actors to peacefully settle any disputes through established legal and institutional channels and urges the competent authorities to resolve any disputes in a fair, expeditious and transparent manner. According to reports, the Electoral Commission announced President Emerson Mnangagwa to have won with 52.6% of the votes. But the opposition also claimed to have won, saying there was widespread vote rigging, and observers said the votes fell short of democratic standards. In sport, Record League winners Enyimba have crashed out of the CAF Champions League following a goalless draw with Ali Benghazi of Libya. The People's Elephants, as they are called, needed a one-goal advantage to advance to the next round of the competition after losing 3-4 in the first leg of the game. But it was not to be for coach George Finidi's side as they failed to find the back of the net at the Enyimba Stadium in Aba. This is the first time since 2015 that the Nigerian champions will be eliminated in the preliminary round of the tournament. They have won twice, the only club side for the country to have done so. Enyimba were one of two former champions to bow out after the first qualifying round, with the V Club from the Democratic Republic of Congo the other losers. On with the entertainment scene, Nigeria singer Joseph Donus, popularly known as Joe Boy, has disagreed with his colleague Burna Boy over his statements that most Afrobeat artists make music without lyrical substance. Recall that Burna Boy in a recent interview asserted that most Nigerian artists make music without content. However, Joe Boy faltered the Grammy-winning singer's claim and said that everybody has substance. It's been the news on Planet Radio 101.1 FM Uyo, but before we go, a recap of the major stories. President Bola Tinubu has said the country could not continue to service its debt with 90% of its revenue. The Senate, through its Committee on Finance, has said that Nigeria could generate about $3 billion from solid minerals. A Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umo Eno has again assured on his administration's commitment to the systematic implementation of the Arise Agenda blueprint for delivery of dividends of democracy to the people of the state. On the foreign team, we told you that UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has expressed concern over the arrest of Zimbabwe election observers amid reports of voter intimidation, threats of violence, harassment and coercion. In sports, reported that record league winners Enyimba have crashed out of the CAF Champions League following a goalless draw against Al Ali Benghazi of Libya. For comments and coverage of your newsworthy events, call our newsroom on 0812-770-2940. Visit our website on planet101fm.ng and follow us on Twitter at planet_101fm. Also like our Facebook page at planet101fm Uyo. The news was edited by Isaiah Udor and Jane Uwa. As we end the news, to know what you know and what you do not know is true knowledge, and the humility of learning what you do not know but desire to know is a money spinner. I am Davina Praise. Umang. Good afternoon.